Were moved here from several kilometres away, so it was an awful lot of work because some of them weigh several tons. So they must have been important to the people who put them here. One of the biggest mysteries about these stones is their location, high up on the plateau where not much grows. One suggestion is that in the early Stone Age, people would have gathered here to hunt. Bones have been found here from woolly-haired mammals, wild horses, and hyenas. But any bones scattered across the landscape these days are cleared up by the giant scavengers who swoop through the skies. Ah, it's great. Look at this. It's a great vulture action. This is a griffon vulture. They're so graceful, slow flying. Really slow wing beats. That's wonderful. With a wingspan of nearly 3 meters, they can cover vast distances in no time. And their eyesight is so good they can see a dead rabbit on the ground 3 kilometers away. Even with the scope, they can see me much better than I can see them. Constant Bagnolini is an ornithologist who's been working with the vultures for 25 years. So I'm looking here, I think these are griffon vultures, yes?
Yes. 30 years ago, the vulture completely disappeared. The sky is empty of the vulture.
Why did the original birds disappear?
Oh, the vulture disappeared principally by the fault of humans, by gun and poisoned. The poison is not for the vulture, it's for the fox. But the poison is not selective, and the vulture disappeared very quickly.
And I assume now that the poisoning of foxes is controlled.
Now, in my area, in my country, it's forbidden. It's totally forbidden.
With vultures coming home to the Cevennes, the ecosystem is slowly returning to an older way of life. There are now 4 types of vulture, including 450 pairs of griffon vultures, 20 pairs of black vultures, and also very rare Egyptian and bearded species.
The griffon vulture and the black vulture reintroduced. The Egyptian vulture returned naturally. Just 2 breeding pairs. It's not much, but it's a great success.
You'd think these different types of vultures would compete for food, but actually each vulture eats a different part of the dead animal.
The griffon vulture prefers the soft meat, like muscle, intestine. The black vulture prefers the contrary, the hard part, like cartilage, skin. The Egyptian vulture can clean all the rest.
A lot of people who haven't perhaps taken the time to look might think the vulture is an ugly bird, but I think you really love the vulture.
Yes, the vulture is very beautiful. It's very beautiful.
I think all species that have difficulties in nature need a champion.
Yes.
Je pense que vous êtes une grande champion pour les vultures.
Merci, thank you very much.
The vultures have successfully been reintroduced. But there's another predator making a comeback, one that's crossed the border all the way from Italy, making its way west to the Cevennes. One even the vultures daren't get too close to. Wild wolves were hunted to extinction in France by the 1930s, but in the last 20 years they have started to return on their own. This wolf park was started so that scientists could study pack behaviour and to help refamiliarise people with this feared predator. Audrey Pruka is a zoologist who studies the wolves' feeding patterns. How many wolves have you got here?
In this enclosure, by now 30.
Did you see any pack behaviour when you're feeding them like this?
At the beginning, they are a little bit afraid because of the cur, and then the alpha female can go immediately and eat. And then other wolf, they can eat.
Sam's got some there, he's taking it out of the shade. Wolves hunt in packs so they can target larger prey. They usually attack by seizing their victim by the nose or the rump. They have strong jaws which help them crush the bones to get the soft marrow inside. The muscle and flesh is the last part of the prey that's eaten. Incredibly intelligent animals. When I look at wolves, they have this eyesight that's different to just any other animal I've seen. They have this ability to look right inside you, to investigate you with their eyes. It's quite unique. As well as the wolves living within this protected reserve, there are now thought to be 7 pairs of wild wolves living in the Cevennes. Conservationists are keen for them to stay and grow in number, but some locals believe that they are a menace and that they will prey on livestock. The hierarchy here is clear. Once the wolves are fed, it's time for the birds to swoop in. Already we've got ravens and we've got the magpie there and the vultures coming down. To see wolves and vultures living together here so successfully perhaps provides us a glimpse of the future of the ecosystem of the Cevennes. Wonderful sight, but an incredibly complicated political future for the wolf, and very interesting to see what's going on here. I'm travelling through the Cevennes National Park in France. As I get deeper into the landscape, I get a sense of how remote this area is. You can travel a long way here before you come across another human being. The roads here are really windy and very tiring, so it's good to stop occasionally. And as you can see, the terrain is very dramatic, and so is the weather. This is what, in weather terms, would be called a Severnal episode, a mixing of Atlantic and Mediterranean weather fronts. And the result of that is tremendous storms. And one of the features of the storms here is a very fast downpour of a large amount of rain. And in steep terrain like that, it runs straight off and can cause massive flooding miles away, way downstream. It's also challenging terrain to live and to farm. As a consequence, you see lots of terracing put in by local people. But they do benefit from the incredible humidity that you get here, humid conditions that are perfect for the growing of all sorts of things. This area may be uninhabited by humans, but there's a whole secret city tucked away if you know where to look. These unusual-looking houses are actually beehives. Right, put the protective gear on, okay? That's good. Excellent. Now we can work with the bees. I'm sure there's no problem, but it's always wise to take some precautions. Is it fetching? Oh yes, very good. I'm meeting local beekeeper Yves Laurent. Yves keeps bees in a traditional way that is unique to the Cevennes. The hives are made from all natural resources found in the area. The base is carved from a tree trunk, and schist rock is put on the top to protect them from the elements. The smoke makes them a little groggy. I'm going to look in underneath now. Oh, look at that. You can see there the combs hanging down underneath, and that's exactly how bees prepare their comb and their honey in the wild. They look for a hollow in a tree, an old bird's nest, woodpecker's nest, and they prepare galleries just like that. It's completely as it's intended to be in nature. In summer, there are over 30,000 bees living in these hives. C'est très joli. It's very beautiful. Merci. These are European black bees. Whilst other bees around the world are dwindling in numbers, surprisingly the bees in the Cevennes are doing very well. It's thought that one of the reasons for this is because there is no intensive farming in this protected region, and therefore no pesticides that are harmful to bees. This age-old method of beekeeping, using local trees and resources, has been passed down through generations of beekeepers. So basically, you learn the technique from an old man who was one of the last practitioners of this method, and today you are passing it on, and you've taught people in England, Scotland, Germany, and I like what you say, that it's an ancient technique for the future. C'est très bon.
Exactement. Tu veux goûter?
Oh oui.
Voilà, ça c'est du miel d'ici.
So this is the honey from here.
De l'été dernier.
From last year, yeah. Last summer. Yeah. Let's try a little bit of this. Oh, it smells lovely. I can smell les herbes.
Ouais.
That is wonderful.
C'est
Formidable.
naturel.
Oui.
C'est du vrai miel d'abeille.
The true honey of the bee.
Oui.
L'abeille originale.
Oui, comme les abeilles mangent le miel. C'est du miel comme les abeilles mangent elles. C'est du miel naturel, ça.
Totally natural honey. You can't get better than that. Merci.
Encore?
Again, I'm going to have some more. Why not? This whole region has a magical feel to it, and there's a final habitat I'm keen to explore further, the real heart of the Cevennes, the forest. One thing you notice as you travel deeper into the forest is that it's very rocky underfoot, and this rocky landscape is hard for trees to colonize. But there is one tree that does flourish here. From the acidic soil beneath the schist grows the sweet chestnut tree. Laurent Fossard is a local chestnut farmer. His family have grown chestnuts here for generations, and he's going to show me how he works with these wonderful trees. So this wild chestnut has grown really straight, and the wood's strong and good for making beams of houses, but you don't eat them.
Alors c'est très simple, c'est parce que le fruit est très difficile à éplucher.
Because it's difficult to open?
Très difficile. Voilà.
That's interesting. So you graft varieties to make them easier to open.
C'est ça.
It makes a lot of sense. Okay, can I see that?
Ouais. On y va.
Grafting new shoots onto strong wild trees makes the perfect fruit.
Ici.
Grafting usually takes place in early spring. A healthy shoot is removed from one tree, and a slit is made in the trunk of a second tree. Comme ça.
Voilà. Très bien.
And the shoot is spliced in. So the young fresh shoot of one tree starts to grow from the sturdy trunk of the wild tree, merging the two together.
Et dans 10 ans, il y aura de belles châtaignes.
And in 10 years, you have beautiful chestnuts. And so that's what happened to this tree hundreds of years